All right, so if you've ever been in engineering management, you know this feeling, right? It's just this constant stream of urgent requests, priorities shifting all over the place, and, fires that need putting out. It can feel like pure chaos. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Okay, let's dive into this. Will Larson, in his book An Elegant Puzzle, he suggests we reframe all that chaos. See, it's not just a random series of fires to fight, no. Instead, it's a set of distinct, solvable puzzles. And honestly, this one little shift in perspective, it changes everything. It turns a reactive, frantic job into a strategic, thoughtful one. So if we're going to start solving these puzzles, we need a new way of seeing the board. We can't just keep looking at the individual pieces. We have to see how they all connect. And for that, we need what is maybe the most powerful tool in the entire management kit. And that tool is systems thinking. It's the thing that lets you move from being a reactive firefighter, constantly battling the most visible flames, to becoming a strategic architect who actually designs a fireproof building. It's all about understanding the underlying structures that cause the problems in the first place. To really use systems thinking, you gotta learn its language. And look, it really just boils down to 3 simple parts. First up, you've got stocks. These are just things you can count, like the number of engineers on your team. Simple enough. Second, you have flows. These are the rates that change those stocks, like your hiring rate or your attrition rate. And finally, and this is the most important part, you have feedback loops. This is how the system's results circle back to affect its own behavior. For example, a slow hiring process might cause teams to burn out, which increases attrition, which in turn puts even more pressure on hiring. Understanding these loops is the absolute key. So let's apply this. Let's use this thinking for our very first puzzle, team size. This is one of the most common and, frankly, critical challenges in any engineering org. If you get it wrong, you create all this instability. But if you get it right, you build the foundation for truly high-performing teams. The first key number you just have to remember is 6 to 8. This is the absolute sweet spot for a manager leading individual engineers. And why? Well, because it gives them enough time for active, hands-on coaching and lets them really invest in the team's mission instead of just, coordinating tasks. Now, the puzzle changes a little bit when you're a manager of managers. Here, the ideal number of direct reports is more like 4 to 6. This keeps them engaged, able to coach their own managers, but also busy enough that they aren't tempted to meddle in the day-to-day stuff of the teams below them. It's a really delicate balance. You see, when you go beyond that magic number of 8, a manager's role just fundamentally shifts. They stop being a proactive manager who can invest and build, and they become more of a reactive coach who just acts as a safety net for problems as they come up. They're just too busy to do anything else. So why does this matter so much? Well, because a team of 6 to 8 can really gel. They can build trust. They can get into a rhythm. But the second you start adding more people, especially quickly, that gelling process just gets constantly disrupted. These simple numerical rules, they're your first line of defense against organizational chaos. Okay, so let's tackle another classic puzzle. This is one that anyone who's worked in a startup will know all too well. The beautiful, terrifying chaos of hypergrowth. Have you ever been in that meeting? You know the one, where everyone agrees you need to hire more people, but you have the sinking feeling that adding more engineers is actually making everything slower? It's a common and deeply counterintuitive problem. The answer to that puzzle lies in this simple but really profound rule. Any system, and it doesn't matter if it's a piece of software or a company process, is typically only designed to handle about 1 order of magnitude of growth. So we're talking 10x. That process that worked great for your 20-person engineering team, it will break, guaranteed, by the time you hit 200. And what this creates is just a relentless cycle. If your company is doubling every 6 months, your systems are going to hit that 10x limit in just 18 months. And that means you are constantly in a state of rewriting and migrating your core systems, which just eats up a massive amount of resources and creates incredible risk. So we've looked at some specific tools for sizing and for scaling. But the final and probably most powerful piece of the puzzle, it's not a tool at all. It's a mindset. It's the way you approach problems that seem to be about people, but are actually, deep down, about the system. We've all seen this person, the one developer who swoops in, works 70-hour weeks, and single-handedly saves a failing project. They get praised, they get promoted. Congratulations, you've just created a hero. And believe it or not, that's a huge problem. See, the hidden cost of the hero is just enormous. While they're getting all the praise, the rest of the team doesn't know how to contribute anymore. The hero becomes a bottleneck and a single point of failure, and eventually, they burn out. Heroism is a symptom of a broken system, not a solution to it.
So the real solution is deeply counterintuitive. You don't celebrate the hero. You don't even try to fix the hero. You have to fix the environment that made them necessary in the first place. The whole goal is to build a system so resilient and so clear that no single person ever needs to become a hero to save it.
And a key part of killing that hero environment is to just stop managing by exception. When someone asks for a special one-off fix, don't just grant it. Collect those requests. Treat them as valuable data points that show you exactly where your process is broken. Then, use that data to evolve the policy for everyone. That's how you create a fair, consistent, and scalable system.
When you put all of these pieces together, the systems thinking, the practical playbooks, and the right mindset, management stops feeling like this chaotic series of fires. It becomes a craft. It becomes an elegant puzzle that is actually truly rewarding to solve.
And ultimately, this all leads to a core philosophy. It's about putting people over process every time. It's about building strong relationships that can solve almost any problem. It's about doing the hard thing now instead of letting it fester. And it's having a clear order for your loyalties, the company, then your team, then yourself, but never, ever forgetting to think for yourself and question the assumptions all around you.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Take a look at your own work, at your own team. What is the most important, most challenging puzzle that you're facing right now? And more importantly, are you approaching it with the tools to actually solve the underlying system, or are you just trying to survive until the next fire breaks out?